Meantime, Lululemon shares surging after a 24% jump in first quarter sales. CEO Calvin McDonald discussed that growth on Squawk on the Street earlier today.
Around the globe, in every market we're in, double-digit growth, not just here in North America, but in every international market. Obviously, standout performance in Greater China, but also APAC and EMEA. So very pleased with our performance across the world.
Let's bring in BMO's Simeon Siegel. He just raised his price target on Lulu to $355 from $340 a share. Simeon, can we extrapolate this type of performance that Lulu reported into the coming quarters? The market seems to love it.
Good to see you, Mike. By the way, how much more comfortable did Calvin look than we are? We got to get some Lulu on. So, listen, I think that I agree with what Lori just said. I think this notion of this is the recession everyone's been waiting for but hasn't actually happened yet. Lulu's not seeing any of that pressure. So we're getting to the end of a consumer earnings cycle where less bad was not even good enough, and Lulu came out and put up a very strong quarter. I think your question, though, we're dealing with a stock. And right now we're seeing the stock go back to where it was about a month ago. Is it going to get better? Can it get better? I think these are very fair questions. I think what we saw was a clean, healthy, strong quarter that appears very much priced into the stock.
Yeah, and to be clear, you are kind of more neutral on the stock even as you raise your price target as the valuation has rebuilt. I mean, the market clearly is just kind of crowding into the durable retail and consumer names and discarding those that seem more vulnerable. Where do you find there to be decent opportunity in the sector?
So I think it's interesting. Listen, you and I talk about various types of companies here. We have the Nikes of the world where you have consistency and you have size and scale. You have the TJXs of the world where you have off-price, I will benefit from a trade down. But then you also right now, I have companies that I look at that are trading at 5, 6, 7 times earnings. Like a year ago, we were talking about that times sales. So you look at a Capri that just reported, and unless you think that they are going to just completely crater and they held their guidance, some of these companies are getting very cheap. So I think it's a risk profile curve. And so I like to think about, you can look at the TJXs on one side as being your more protected compounders, right? A little bit less exciting, but more consistent. And then on the other hand, you have Capri and Bath & Body Works, which are these companies that, if Lori's right, if we make it through and we don't see something really problematic, there's going to be a lot of repricing opportunities that happen across retail because it just happened on the way down.
For sure. And as you mentioned, I mean, Lulu, people are starting to pay up for the perception that they have pretty much clear sailing for a little while. Are they in that zone with the Nikes of the world where the brand can just endure in that way?
So I'm going to overstep and talk about something above my pay grade. I think that when we think about it, get philosophical here, premium multiples are generally premium and more expensive because of growth. Yeah. I think that what happened across consumer over the last decade was that if you had a consistent company, you would pay up for that. Yeah. And so I think Lulu is a typical growth stock. I think Nike is a consistency premium. I think TJX is a consistency premium. Mm-hmm. What that means is the latter two are never going to live up to a PEG ratio ever again. You're not buying it for some future year that will make the multiple seem more realistic. You're buying it because you can go to sleep easy at night. What that means in practice is that Lulu maintains their multiple as long as they maintain their growth. Right. Whereas Nike and TJX maintain their multiple as long as they maintain their story. Yeah, it's much harder to break a story.
I was going to say, very crucial distinction. Lulu maybe isn't there yet. Simeon, thanks very much.